Welcome back to the Savage Nation. We lost connection because we're on many different platforms today, and we're covering the question of is Waltz a true Manchurian candidate? We ended the last segment by my discussing a terrible situation where the man who poses as a friendly, nice Warren Buffett-looking guy from the Midwest, as actually a hardcore naked communist, and Tim Waltz chose the wedding date of he and his wife to coincide with the Tiananmen Square anniversary. And this is a time in history that's been wiped off the history books. It should be taught in all U.S. history books. It's when the people of China went in the streets to protest the communist Chinese government. What happened was the government of China crushed them by bringing out tanks and drove over them in Tiananmen Square and crushed them under the treads of tanks. It took weeks for them to wash the human remains off the pavement. But worse than that, this is a holiday that he and his wife want to remember forever, by the way. That's the day they chose to get married. They went into the hospitals where those who had been injured by the government were in critical condition, disconnected them from IV tubes and took them out and shot them. This is the same Tim Waltz who just the other day said there is no right to free speech if it offends the government. He is a naked communist, and he was selected by the Democrat Party USA, which today is indistinguishable, as I've told you for years, from the Communist Party USA, CPUSA, which is why the dirtiest bastard in the history of American politics, Bernie Sanders, has saluted them. He is exactly what Bernie Sanders always wanted to be. And the fact is, they're all naked communists. So what does it have to do with you? Well, you have a choice, and your choice is very clear. If you don't like Donald Trump, just hold your nose and vote anyway. Vote for any Republican, because any Democrat you vote for is going to put you into a concentration camp one way or the other in your lifetime. They're this close to winning this election. Don't assume she can't win. I have to excuse myself for a moment. It's been a very long day, and I just got off the air from Newsmax. Pardon me. So this man is the epitome of being inside the plot to destroy America. His name may not be mentioned in this book, but his policies are all over this book. And I'm going to read some of the chapter heads so that you understand that I saw this coming in one way or the other. So Tim Waltz is clearly a Manchurian candidate. Whether he admits it or not is irrelevant. Whether George Step on all of us tells you that is irrelevant. Whether a fake crapper tells you that is irrelevant. But I'll read you some chapter heads. The puppet president plot. You get that one? The puppet president plot. How tyrants rise. The show trials plot. Didn't we just have them against Trump? The censorship plot. The culture plot, which is the degenerate West versus the Christian East. The sewer bowl. It used to be called the Super Bowl. It became the sewer bowl. The bankruptcy plot. We've had that with Bidenflation. We almost lost the stock market just 2 days ago. You know why? Because the economy we are in is unsustainable. It can't be sustained. It's going to blow out at some point in the very near future. The chaos plot. The defund the police plot. That's what this Tim Waltz was totally into. So was Kamala Harris. They hate police. They've always hated the police. The war plot. This guy, who you think is a moderate, wants more war with Russia. He would even take World War III if it gave them more power. The communist plot, etc. So, my friends, the reason I point this out is that we're only a few months away from an election. I wrote this book last November for this election. I aimed it for the election. And I'm telling you, everything I wrote about is coming true, unfortunately. Yes, I think Waltz is a true Manchurian candidate. Yes, I think he has been brainwashed in China. Yes, it's true. We all know for a fact that his connections to China go back at least 30 years. He's visited China at least 30 times. He is pro-war, anti-business, anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas, Somali gang-loving, period. And I'm going to have to repeat myself so you finally get it. Did you know that even an FBI report revealed that Minneapolis' Somali community has become the Islamic terrorist recruitment capital of the United States? 45 Somalis have left Minnesota to join the ranks of either the Somalia-based Islamic insurgency al-Shabaab or the Iraq and Syria-based ISIS. Most of them attend a single mosque in Minnesota that your friend Tim Waltz, Mr. Everyman, frequents and supports. This is a man who first went to China with a now defunct Harvard University program known as World Teach, Communist Front Group. The Chinese government approved the trip. Waltz went there. He and his wife returned there over and over again. And you may not know this, but they established a tour company called Educational Travel Adventures. Did you know that? They were in the business of bringing American students there to brainwash a future generation of young pioneers or Khmer Rouge. This is who is going to be a hairbreadth away, one breath away from the presidency if the Democrats pull off the greatest upset in American history. I think I've said all I can say. I think any more would be repetitive. It would be overproducing this show that I've done for you today. Just remember the overview. Waltz may be a true Manchurian candidate. I think he meets all the qualifications. And I think that you better be very careful who you vote for, because many of you don't understand who he is, nor who Kamala Harris is. I do. I do this for a living. And I'm Michael Savage, and I thank you for listening. If you like what you're seeing, hit the like button and subscribe. And God be with us. I'll be back another day to bring you more information right here on wherever you're watching